represent order, security, safety.
Now that people have more time to watch their favorite television shows and discover new ones that they'll soon be following from one season to the next, a lot are asking if there's any series they should be paying attention to. Well, there are plenty of outstanding television shows these days. Thankfully, one of them is the CW's Batwoman. This is a take on The Dark Knight, albeit in a female persona. Everyone was excited to see a woman's take on the very popular superhero. The show debuted in 2019 and was welcomed warmly by audiences. When the first season ended, fans couldn't wait for the second season. In this video, we're going to talk about the series and what could possibly happen in season 3. But before we begin, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as well as hit the post notification bell so that way you don't miss anything from us. What is Batwoman about? The American superhero television series Batwoman was developed for the CW by Caroline Dries. It's based on the DC character of the same name and is part of the greater Arrowverse community. The first season of the series following the title character Kate, portrayed by Ruby Rose, becoming the female version of the Dark Knight after the absence of her cousin Bruce Wayne. The second season focuses on a former convict named Ryan Wilder protecting Gotham as she steps in the role of Batwoman. The show originally premiered in October 2019, and the first season concluded in May 2020 after 20 episodes. The show originally premiered in October 2019, and the first season concluded in May 2020 after 20 episodes. The second season premiered in January 2021, and fans rejoiced when it was reported that the show will be renewed for a third season. The first season ended abruptly due to the global health situation. A lot of things were affected by the global health situation, and the show was no exception. Showrunner Caroline Dries was left with a piece of the story in her hands that she needed to further in the second season. The concept that the hero's supersuit could not withstand kryptonite and was how the show's villain planned to take down Batwoman. Although Kate's journey ended in season 1 with Rose's exit, Dries kept the kryptonite in play and immediately unleashed it on Kate's successor, Ryan Wilder. In the second season's premiere, fans saw Kate's plane crash with Kate nowhere to be found. However, her batsuit was lying among the wreckage. Ruby Rose briefly explained her decision to leave the show. Like many people during the global health situation, Ruby Rose stated that she had plenty of time to mull over things as she decided to depart from her role in the Batwoman series. In May of 2020, she announced that she won't be joining the cast for the second season and mentioned that she didn't arrive at the decision lightly. Rose said that she had plenty of challenges on the set, including requiring back surgery following an accident on the set in 2019. She continued to be proud of the show and of the representation that it's given of the LGBTQIAP community, of which she's a member. She adds that 10 days after surgery, she went back to work when normally most people would take 2 or 3 months to recover. This made working more difficult for her and made it taxing on her body. However, she elaborates that her decision to leave wasn't only because of her injuries. In a sense, the series wasn't what Rose wanted to continue doing. Season 2 saw a new character stepping into the new Batwoman with Rose's departure. Jessica Leslie took over Ruby Rose in the series' lead role as Ryan Wilder after Kate Kane mysteriously and suddenly disappears. Season 2 ended up seeing Ryan with a solid background, and she is seen embracing her new role. Returning characters were responding to what everyone presumed was Kate's death. The show already broke ground when it became the first to have a gay character playing the lead role. Like Kate Kane, Leslie's character is also a lesbian. Unlike Kane, she has a criminal record and her job prospects have been slim because of her history. In many ways, Leslie as Ryan, Kate's opposite. Who is the new Batwoman? Jessica Leslie is the role of Ryan Wilder and the first black woman to assume the role of Batwoman. It was announced back in July 2020 that she would be taking over Ruby Rose. The 33-year-old American actress landed her first major role in the Lifetime movie Swim at Your Own Risk in 2016. She was born into a military family in Augsburg, Germany, and she grew up in Maryland, where the family moved back to the United States. She went to Hampton University when she appeared in a production of Chicago and Seven Guitars. After graduating, she moved to Los Angeles to pursue acting. She used to be a huge series regular on God Befriended Me and was also in the 2019 film Always a Bridesmaid. Although she always has been interested in acting, Leslie considered them only her interests, and her mother encouraged her to pursue something that could help pay the bills. After getting her degree from Hampton University, she worked for the government in Washington, D.C. However, Leslie had shared that during the this time that she was working, all that she could think of was that it wasn't what she wanted to do with her life. She stated that she felt stifled working in an office from 9 to 5. So, after her 2-year contract was up, she packed her things and moved to Los Angeles. She cites Halle Berry in the X-Men movies and Eartha Kitt as Catwoman in the 1960s as her inspiration for the role. She grew up watching Michael Keaton's Batman films. However, she said that Christian Bale's Batman was very influential to her, and she also mentions Heath Ledger's award-winning performance as Joker as one of the reasons why she finds Batman very influential. It made her understand what acting meant and what it means to become one of the characters of Gotham. She said she was drawn to Batman's run because of her many character flaws. She isn't perfect, and she is very human. She has something in her past that she continues to struggle to come to terms with. She carries the weight of what happened in her life, and that made her connect to the character even more. How did she get the part? Like everyone else, Leslie had auditioned for the part, and showrunner Dryas remembered that she hit every note in her head. She did well with the comedy scenes and hit the emotional scenes. She showed vulnerability, and she also had swagger. Suffice it to say that Leslie was exactly what they were looking for. Original Batwoman Ruby Rose also happily said that she approved of the casting, and she was confident that Leslie had everything needed to assume the role of Batwoman. Rose was confident that she was leaving the show in more than capable hands. A few elements of the backstory were changed after Leslie was cast in the lead role. There were a few things to be reconstructed after Leslie's casting to tell a more effective, positive, and authentic story. Early descriptions of her character had mentioned Ryan as a drug dealer, and it also mentioned that they had many opportunities to explore storylines that didn't work when Kane was still around. It was announced in early February that the show had been renewed for another season. The CW recently announced that it had renewed Batwoman for another season, along with 11 other shows, namely The Flash, Dynasty, Legacies, Nancy Drew, Roswell, New Mexico, Riverdale, Charmed, All-American, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Walker, and In the Dark. Lead actress Javicia Leslie was happy and excited to share the news with fans via Instagram. It wasn't exactly a surprise that the show was renewed for a third season, although the show's ratings have been on a downward trend since October 2019. The show's second season still had a decent viewership of at least 663,000 people in an episode as reported by TV series Finale. On average, the show only has a .16 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. The second season had another drop in ratings to only .15 for the premiere and was viewed by a little bit less, with 659,000 people. The viewership did slide down to 621,000 for the second episode, but ratings went to .16, so no change there. The third episode for the second season gave the show its highest at 708,000 viewers, although the rating stayed flat at .16. Although it's just a few weeks away from the premiere of the second season, the chairman and CEO of the CW network wanted to get a head start. Mark Pedowitz later explained that it allows the production team to start laying out the story arcs, as well as hire the needed talent for the show. The renewal of the show does allow them to have a strong and stable schedule to build on for the following season. What's season 3 going to be about? Season 2 just finished airing its 5th episode, and it's not even halfway through the second season yet, so there's really no details yet as to what the third season will entail. Although a lot of people are excited to get more info about the next season, we'll just have to wait and see. When will the third season start airing? As of now, only the renewal of the show has been announced. There's no news whatsoever as to what the third season will start airing on TV. Since the announcement was only a handful of days ago, we're quite sure that the showrunners and the people behind the series are still discussing production schedules and other things. Who's returning for the third season, and will there be any new characters? As of now, it's not been confirmed yet as to who's going to be returning for the third season, or if there's going to be any new faces joining the cast, or if anyone's going to leave the show. There's also no news yet as to when any character is going to be killed off. Are you surprised that Batwoman was renewed for another season? What are you most looking for in the third season? Let us know in the comment section down below, and meanwhile, we'll end this here and see you around in the next video.